questions that I'm certain my peers in the Senate will also be asking. The budget of CDA decreased from, as you stated, there's a reduction of 344 million plus. However, despite the reduction, you are now stating that traveling expenses under 2025 will almost double. Why should that be so? Why will you be spending and prioritizing travel over everything else? I enjoin the other committees to please maintain silence as we have to focus on the Cooperative Development Authority. You may leave the room if you're not yet up. If you have nothing to do with the CDA po, Dr. Loreche. Okay. So you proposed, but what happened?
Hindi
By
po na,
PM.
it's not included in the NEP, ma'am.
I would also like to understand your justification in the light of the reduction in is it meet and proper that you expend so much on traveling? Ngayon na nagtitipid kayo, dapat hindi ba may iba pang prioridad ng ating mga co-op maliban sa pagbabiyahe ng CDA?
As of this year, Madam Chair, and next year, the budget related to our inspection, examination, and
Sino-sino ba nagbabiyahe? Ang pagkaalam ko, may regional offices naman kayo.
yes, Madam Chair, we
Meron
have.
namang field offices.
Yes, Madam Chair, and we
Yes, so relative to your budget, why is your traveling expense so high?
we allocate the budget to the different regions, Madam Chair.
Island region of Visayas, maniniwala po pa ako. Pero sa Region 3, puro kalsada lang yan, madali magbiyahe at mura lang. Islang tatawirin, patag na patag, wala rin bundok.
We understood, Madam Chair, and
I'm sorry, I don't.
we will try to reassess our budget on this, Madam Chair.
Justification, I'm just perplexed. I will have to defend this not only in the plenary but also to the co-ops themselves who have been crying for more assistance, and yet you're going to expend a significant of your budget on a doubled amount for mere traveling. Isla. Kung asa Mindanao, apakahirap pumunta, kulang-kulang ang mga kalsada at marami ring isla. Pero hindi ko maintindihan yung paliwanag mo. Number of co-ops ba? Distansya ba? Hirap ba magbiyahe? Alin ba?
It's one of the reasons, Madam Chair, is also the proximity, the distance po. That's
In the highly controversial PUV modernization program, what have you done with regard to the PUV modernization? We know there's an Office of Transport Co-ops under the DOTR. What is the linkage? Because we never quite understood the intersection between your agency as well as the DOTR.
the CDA, Madam Chair, fully supports the modernization program. So the
Sana
intervention,
naman, bahagi kayo ng administrasyon.
yes po. And when it comes to
What I'm
intervention,
asking, paano kayo naghahati ng trabaho? Alin ang papel ng CDA? Alin ang papel ng DOTR?
by the time that these transport groups will be converted to a cooperative, Madam Chair, that's we provide the hand-holding program to them. At the same time,
Teka, paano nag-umpisa yan? Halimbawa, may grupo ng namamasada, anong mangyayari? Sinong magtitipon-tipon sa kanila at magsasabi na maging co-op na kayo?
once they manifested their intent, Madam Chair,
Saan sila lalapit?
sa-
DOTR o sa inyo?
sa amin po. Then,
Sa inyo?
yes po. Then,
Pero
upon,
yung mga requisitos ninyo napakatataas, no? Dapat na ilang membro, ilang taon na. Eh, syempre, bago pa lang to, hindi sila magko-comply sa qualifications ng CDA. 2-3 taon, di ba? Hindi pa in existence yung mga yan, kaya nga kinukumpune.
well, regardless of the years of existence, ma'am, once we receive an endorsement from the OTR, LFRB, and OTC, immediately the CDA reaches out to these transport groups.
Na OTC, hindi tama yung sinabi mo kanina na lumalapit sa inyo yung mga namamasada.
What I mean, Madam Chair, is upon receipt of their endorsement, they will present it to CDA. Then we will schedule for a
Upon receipt
pre-registration
of whose endorsement?
from OTC po.
So it's OTC that So who triggers the entire process? Para maintindihan natin,
Kasi-
kasi very problematic to, hindi nga maintindihan. Kung hindi rin naintindihan ng CDA, talagang malaking problema natin.
Kasi ang
So sa nag-umpisa, sinong lalapitan ng ating mga namamasadang nagnanais maging co-op? Saan muna pupunta? Ganun lang kasimple.
yes ma'am, pag na-identify na po ng OTC,
Teka muna. Namamasada ako. Gusto ko maging co-op kasama ng aking mga karuta. Saan ako pupunta?
well,
Sa iyo ba o kay OTC?
OTC muna ma'am.
So, sa OTC muna.
Yes, ma'am.
Ngayon, okay.
Para
Ang hirap makakuha ng sagot sa iyo, so Josephine Cabo, you say.
sa OTC muna
Hirap
ma'am.
mo ako. Okay, OTC pala, hindi pala CDA.
Yes.
Sabi mo kasi kanina, lalapit sa inyo. Kung sino man ang lalapit sa inyo na transport co-op, yung pala, kailangan lalapit sa OTC. Babayad ba sila o ilang araw ba yan?
Wala pong bayad, Madam Chair.
Yeah, and
It's
then
on-
ilang araw?
well, in a general application, ma'am, it's 1 day.
Hindi na bubuo nila isang araw na hindi mamamasada. Afford ba nila yan?
Yung nga, ma'am, paminsan po, may dalawa, may tatlo, kasi nagre-request po sila, ma'am, na kung pwede 2 to 3 hours lang per day dahil mamamasada po sila.
Then do you give the co-ops to start out? Sabi mo may hand-holding?
Yes, ma'am.
Madam Chair,
Yes,
I'm,
please.
I'm Mr. Joselito Aliasco, the Director of Credit Surety Fund Cooperatives and the concurrent Finance Division Chief. Regarding the CFIDP, Madam Chair, in 2022, almost 50% to 50 million because the fund was given to us somewhere on the last quarter.
Yes, I recall
Yes.
it was released,
Yes.
released in
He
November.
requested the said fund, sabi ng, we were told
Yeah,
na,
but if it was released November 2022, you have 2 years, di ba?
it is a automatic reversal to the treasury, to
What
the
was it
principal
first?
fund.
Can you give me a timeline here? Kailan na-release? November 2022?
Somewhere in October 2022, tapos we implemented the program
Okay.
until December 31, 2022.
Okay.
The remaining amount was reverted to the principal fund of the CFIDP.
It's okay. When did you write? We've been through this. Dapat alam niyo lahat ng sagot nito kasi sirang plaka na ako. Ito pinag-usapan na last year, di ba? Last year.
Yes, Madam
sabi niyo
Chair.
naman, kapag ganito ng ganito. Okay, yes, Asek Pendaton, please.
Yes, Madam Chair. Related dun po sa nabanggit nyo na issues, kung ano ba yung pakinabang ng mga cooperatives sa CDA. Yung po yung sinasabi namin, dito sa Coco Levy, ma'am, nag-implement na po kami ng financial assistance sa mga cooperatives ng coconut farmers.
Wala itong kinalaman sa transport co-op. Yung transport co-op walang pera. Ito may pera. Kaya talagang walang dahilan.
Yes, ma'am, nagbigay po kami ng financial assistance.
Nagbigay ba?
Yes po, per region. Then, pagkatapos po noon, sinabi po sa amin ng Office of the Senate Villar na we are not authorized to provide financial assistance under the law ng Coco Levy.
Kung nasa 25 million yung financial assistance, ano nangyari?
Madam Chair,
So sinoli na lang
it was
ninyo.
reverted
Yung
back
250
again to the
na
principal.
binigay sa mga co-op. Binalik? Ganun ba yun?
Then, nabigay na po sa kanila, Madam Chair.
Year of implementation, there are financial assistance.
About 2020.
Yes, there were financial assistance and training
Hindi
given.
nyo kausap CDA. Kaya lahat ng co-op hilo sa inyo. Pati ako hilo na rin. Okay, next. Oo, so, pero we're now talking about 2023. Tapos na yung 2022.
Yes.
If you can provide me a coherent timeline, Director Haliasco, can you give me a coherent timeline for the expenditures? Yung 2022, pakihiwalay sa 2023, please. Yung 2023, hiwalay din at pati yung 2024. At nakakahilo po kayo mag-present. Ilan ang cocoa farmers co-op associations already converted to co-ops? What percentage? Ilan ba talaga ilan ba ang target ninyo na cocoa farmers? What's the target number of cocoa farmers? Ako na mag-compute. Wala ba kayong kusang mga MOA sa PCA? Yung mga may pera para dyan, yung DA, yung
PhilMec,
DAR.
PhilMec, ma'am, we have.
Understand the DOJ legal opinion, can you please make a timeline that everyone can understand, and let's not apply 2022 explanations or excuses to 2024. Yes, I also need to understand the issue of the admin fund and the lack of personnel. So, with that, we terminate the hearing for today, but you will have to come back with the documents requested. Thank you. You may go now.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Last year, and I believe what happened was the national government has to continue to hold 60% of common shares. And then there are a series of opinions from the Government Corporate Council. Kailan ba to? 2022 to?
For the opinion of the Office of the Government,
BCG has since declared that it is favorable or not favorable to privatize. What's happened since? I have some kind of information from the GCG as well here, so I'm not certain
ma'am,
where it derives.
yeah, the documents we're referring to are the ones that we were furnished. So there might be other documents that we did not officially receive or were notified of.
To the best of your understanding, therefore, it came from the OP
Yes, Madam Chair.
in 2022. So why are you still here? It's already 2024.
Madam Chair, my understanding is that the GCG requires a certain clear directive from the Office of the President about
They
ordering.
need another directive.
That's correct, Madam Chair.
But I thought the OP already said that you should be transferred to the BSP. Nalilito ako.
The sub
The problem is that we really need to finally understand where you belong.
That's correct, Madam Chair. So
Yes, even your 5-year plan for data privacy and greater cybersecurity cannot be implemented if we're not clear as to your home. So I think first things first, we have to determine the organization to which you belong, di ba?
yes, that's correct, Madam Chair.
Asking for more money year on year. So I think you have a responsibility to plan forward and recommend both to the legislature as well as to the executive the future of your operations, ano? Kung saan ninyo gusto manatili. Yung SEC parang hindi tama eh. Naintindihan natin yon, pero kailangan siguro aralin rin ninyo kung saan tayo papunta, no? Yung direksyon ng ahensya. The budget of the Credit Information Corporation with their request of a further national subsidy of over 62 million pesos, largely for information and cybersecurity expenditure, 62.302 million. Thank you very much. You received allotments of 1.275 billion and only 613 million was obligated, or only 48%.
Yes, the bulk of
What's the reason for the low obligation, low utilization of foreign assistance projects ba yan?
the foreign assisted because
Ang actual disbursed is only 48%.
here.
Walang hambog eh, walang konting yabang. Kailangan kasi maglista rin tayo ng accomplishment to justify increases. Like we did last year, I sort of cobbled together some kind of accomplishment report. And I'd appreciate if you could do that. Necessarily, they'll involve cases filed, prosecutions, if any, mergers and acquisitions reports, and whatever contributions you have made as an agency for securing fair business, competition, and compliance, and basically just improving the notorious monopolistic tangent of our business in the Philippines. So, kung pwede lang, mag-report rin kayo ng nagawa ninyo para yun rin ang basehan ko para tignan ulit yung mga binawas ng DBCC sa inyo. Okay, with that, I have no further questions, and I think with the submission of some partial reports and a clarification on your foreign assistant, Yung clarification lang ng foreign assistant and some kind of accomplishment report, some bragging rights to a few things here and there to justify an increase, if any. And with that, I am able now to endorse to the Mother Committee from Subcommittee I, the Mother Committee of Finance in the Senate, the budget of the Philippine Competition Commission. Thank you very much. It's a program that we're not very well informed about. You mentioned earlier something about the land bank giving you the checks finally, and that therefore you will be able to disperse with greater expediency.
Yes, Madam Chair. This assistance to
DSWD?
Opo, sa kanila po galing yung fund na yan, Madam Chair.
Nasa DSWD pa rin ang
Hindi na po, na-transfer na po sa amin. Bago lang.
Pero yung ATOP, nasa DSWD?
Kata-transfer po sa amin, Madam Chair.
Kaya nga, bakit binabanggit mo na from Treasury pupunta pa sa DSWD?
Kasi po, continuing appropriation po siya, Madam Chair.
Pero diretso ang release ng DBM sa inyo, di ba?
After
So, wala ng
going-
DSWD para
Wala na po, sa amin na-
Nakakapag-accredit siya na nga ba yun? I
Um,
recall an item here indicating that you had trouble
Nasa
accrediting
registration
these
pa lang kami.
associations.
Nasa registration pa lang po kami, Madam Chair.
I understand that
Wala pa.
5 applications were received, all of them were rejected for lack of sufficient documentation. Paano kayo magbibigay sa ATOP kung wala kayong ma-accredit na mga organization?
I believe, Madam.
Unang-una, nag-interview kayo ng clerical, ng driver, by commissioner. Ano ang trabaho ng executive director? Sino ba executive director?
We have an acting executive director, Madam Chair,
Sino
and
nga?
si Director M. Daez.
I think we have to do some housekeeping. COA found that cash allowances and liquidation reports under the traveling expense local account had some non-compliance with the most economical airfare, delay in submission, etc. You're aware of this?
Yes, Madam Chair, and
How has this issue
we
been addressed?
have addressed all those issues, Madam Chair.
It's a very large sum. This is a lot of traveling. It's 12.5 million.
Yes po, Madam Chair. We have already addressed this.
You reached out to COA to rectify?
Yes po, Madam Chair. We have
But
already
they're still
discussed.
carrying this in your report.
Yeah, we did already.
As of today, has anything been done about the 16 unattended COA observations?
Yes, Madam Chair.
I see you're here.
Yes, ma'am. I reported back after 90 days because there was no other order. There was no order extending or terminating the suspension.
Has there been any response from your office, Commissioner, regarding the allegations of dishonesty, neglect of duty, misconduct, etc.?
Madam Chair, I submitted counter affidavit ad cautelam.
How many commissioners are there now?
There's 6 of us, Madam
How
Chair.
many should there be?
7, Madam Chair.
Come out of a rather messy situation with your chairman and even with one of your commissions. So you'll be handling several billion here.
Allow us to make a presentation to you separately, Madam Chair.
Consider the amounts of cash that they're carrying, the lack of vehicles that are safe, the personnel who are only job orders, contractuals, or worse, handling so much money. Ito, napakalaki nito. Susang-ayon ng DBM dyan, sigurado. Kasi ang laki-laki ng gastos niyan eh. Ang problema kasi niyan, we are now evolving all these 4 Ps, ayuda, may MAIP, may Kalahi Seeds, may senior citizens, may agricultural rice subsidies, may transport subsidies. Lahat ng subsidy na yan, kailangan ba ng hiwalay na ahensya, hiwalay na tao? Parang hindi yata dapat, ano? Yan, delete, ano? Lahat yan wala eh. Sinulat lang ninyo. Huwag kayong magsusulat na wala. Kainis. Endorsed bifocal, endorsed. Wala yan. Can you please delete when it doesn't exist? When it's all in the planning stage, it's really of little or no interest. Green Climate Fund. Asa na to? Wala, ito, date 2019, ang disbursement ng multi-hazard forecasting, 31%. Ilan taong ba to? Another 10-year project po? Green Climate.
Climate Fund, Madam Chair.
Uy, this is all your presentation. I'm just reading to you.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair. For this project, which Land Bank proposed on behalf of the country, I think it's a 5-year project po. So it began in 2019 approval, but the downloading or implementation phase only began last year, Madam Chair.
You're telling me there are two recipients, both Land Bank and Pag-asa. Eh, nandito, disbursed amount nasa 3 million lang. Dalawa pa yung pagbibigyan.
May I correct myself, Madam Chair? So the amount disbursed is 3.2. It's disbursed primarily to Land Bank po.
How much is this supposed to be? 10 million?
$10 million po.
Why is it taking so long? What are the circumstances?
Madam
But
Chair,
ang liit-liit naman ng unang transfer.
opo,
Di ba dapat nagda-down payment? Wala bang mobilization ng project? And I am assuming this is engineering and technology heavy.
these
Because
are
it
all
involves forecasting. And
That's
yet we
correct,
have this
ma'am.
meager sum of 3 million. Anin yung 3 million?
Ma'am, only because the project is limited to 4 pilot sites. There are 4 sites, Legazpi, Davao de Oro, Cagayan, no? Palo, Leyte, and there's one more in Luzon, Tuguegarao po. So,
Add sites as you go along.
hindi na po pwede, ma'am. Bale, ito na po yun. 4
Kaya nga, so
sites.
there are 4 sites on the eastern seaboard. Okay, so they're all Pacific facing. So you only
Correct,
need
ma'am.
to forecast Pacific derived typhoons. Ano ba? Nakakatawa yung project design. Eastern facing. Na-assume na natin yung West Philippine Sea. Wala nang paputok doon. Ano ba yun? Nakakatawa kasi yung project for multi-hazard impact base. Okay. Ba't ganon? Ba't 3 million lang ang pinadala?
Ma'am, this is following the work and financial plan. There are activities that must be in sequence, and there is just
It's a
the
very
initial
slow
workshops po.
sequence from 2019 to 2024. At makabago naman itong sequence na to.
Yes, ma'am. Considering it's only been a year and a half, nagte-training pa po yung mga LGUs. In fact, they planned one workshop for the 4 LGU representatives for this month po.
I guarantee you that Palo and Tuguegarao don't need much training. We've had more than enough typhoons. Ano kayang training ang gagawin? Mas alam pa kaya nila kaysa sa atin?
Madam Chair, if I may, we work very closely with the DOF, which sits on the GCF board. If I may, actually, the GCF is increasingly under negative comments from the stakeholders, precisely because of the slow downloading and the slow processing of applications.
Are you saying it's worldwide?
It is a global issue,
Kaya,
ma'am. It is a global problem for GCF.
Yeah, that's why. That's what you should have said. Don't put it na here. Ang gulo-gulo nito. 33.17. It's causing more aggravation yata. Mag-iti-training pa ninyo. Typhoon ngayon. Abala pa sa
Yes,
lahat ng tinatamaan ng bagyo.
I think, Madam Chair, if I may again, from the perspective of policy, it really requires.
But you know, there was a very recent flooding summit attended by all ASEAN and you were absent. That was the one trip you should have joined. Ba't wala kayo sa Singapore noon? Libre ang turo ng Amsterdam sa lahat ng ASEAN. They identified the Philippines as one of the highest vulnerable, but they all decried the absence of anyone at all from the Philippines.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We'll look into this. I personally did not receive any invitation, and we'll check po.
No, I think you should make it your business,
It is.
uninvited, or
Yes, ma'am.
as a gate crasher, you should attend these places where they're giving advice for free.
Yes, Madam Chair, we'll work on that.
It's quite embarrassing. They kept talking about the Philippines being absent. Kung saan-saan kayo nagbabiyahe, yung kailangan puntahan at binabaha tayo ng labis-labis, nag-absent naman kayo. Saan ka naman nakarinig ng ganito? Ito, agriculture. Ano to? The other project you have under Green Climate Fund, ano to? Can somebody tell me about this? DA, DOST, please, let's get to... Maaga pa ako dito.
Yes, Madam Chair,
Pwede ba
this one.
sumagot naman kayo kahit paano?
This is our second national approved project po under GCF, proposed through the UN Food and Agriculture Organization, and the executing agency is DA.
Galing ba sa atin yan? Or,
Ma'am, this is a GCF
no, but
funding proposal.
but the funding is from the Philippines or from
No,
overseas?
no, ma'am. This is from GCF, the Climate Fund.
Okay. And what happened?
Madam Chair, if I may
So-
supplement, the project will be implemented in 7 years. The operational
It's
partners.
7 years?
Yes, it's 2024 to 2031.
So happened.
It's already happening. The
So-
preparatory and implementations underway. It
What are
hopes
they going to do?
it would provide early warning information system among others.
And
Of
it's
course,
going to take 7 years. Ang dami nang namatay.
It's-
Ang dami nang nabaha. Parang, ang bagal naman natin mag-react. 7 taon. Ilan pa ang maaanod? Ilan pa lulubog? Wala lang. Okay. Adaptation Fund. Is there anything that can be reported about the Adaptation Fund?
None at this point, Madam Chair.
Okay.
The Philippines has yet to directly access the fund.
Why is it taking so long? Why is it taking so long?
The focal agency for this, Madam Chair, is DNR. Will coordinate
So
with them
what's
on
the
this
role
particular.
of your commission?
We
Aren't you more appropriately abolished and then located in the DENR? Kasi hindi ko naintindihan eh. Di ba nagra-right sizing ang gobyerno? Di ba obvious na kailangan ninyo DENR na lang?
There's that's one position, but there's also the position, Madam Chair, that the Climate Change Commission has to remain as it is.
Why?
While it's still
Why?
a relatively young agency, there are cross-cutting issues that ideally under the RA 9729 can be better addressed by a commission po.
Why?
There are
Your
some.
performance wouldn't prove that.
I apologize for
No,
that, Madam Chair.
I'm not accusing you, and you're only new in any case. Pero there are clearly issues with the organizational structure because you can't
Yes,
get
ma'am.
anything done.
Yes, Madam Chair. In fact, this is one of the.
So that's my point. Aren't you better subsumed under a proper departmental structure than attempting to stand alone and not getting very much done?
Madam Chair, if I may, this is one of the findings of COA
There you
on
go.
organizational reform. And in fact, we at the Commission, this particular cohort of commissioners, are working hard on the reforms that are needed and to make
Well,
sure
you know
that.
very well, coordination is a very, very bad word in government. It means you have absolutely no power, no budget, and very, very little staff. So there you go. All you do is coordinate. Parang NDRRMC yan. Hindi nakaka-respond kasi nga coordinating body lang sila.
Policy formulate.
Eh wala naman susunod sa kanila. Kaya nga, the move is for NDRRMC to become a FEMA or some kind of agency.
Agency.
At hindi na siya coordinating, liaising, and so on. Eh kayo rin.
Yes, Madam Chair, and we would have to say that based on RA 9729, that really is the mandate of the Climate Change Commission, policy
is the
formulating and
mandate?
policy formulation and coordination.
Kaya nga, that's the same problem we have in all these agencies. Yung mga early learning, policy formulation and coordination, ang ibig sabihin, walang mangyayari. Yan ang nga ang problema dyan eh. Okay, anyway, andito yung mga COA findings ninyo, the usual. Okay. Ano ba to? Yeah, can you tell me about climate change expenditure tagging? Ano yun?
Climate Change Expenditure Tagging is a program between the Climate Change Commission, the Department of Budget and Management also, and this aims to tag the climate change related projects of our different agencies.
Kaya nga, which underlies the fact that you're a mere coordinating body.
We
Just tag, di ba?
yeah, we understand that, Madam Chair.
Kaya
In fact,
nga, that's why how much can you get done? So what's the advantage of tagging aside from aside from pogi points na meron tayong climate change projects?
we acknowledge this shortcoming, Madam Chair, and that's why we're
Yes,
working.
but the point is, you're not supposed to apologize or say sorry. What we need to do is to change the law in some way, retool the organization, re-engineer everything because it's not working. Apology is not what is required. What is required here is for you in aid of legislation to make recommendations because it's simply not working.
Thank you, Madam.
Projects that are undone. Who's monitoring these projects anyway?
We work in a multi-agency structure, Chair. So we're working with the first CCC, DOF, and the Development Bank of the Philippines.
Mind, is it working or isn't it working? It's clearly not working. You're not finishing projects.
For these projects and
Nothing has been downloaded. Surely the project hasn't begun. But it was approved. Are you telling me that these projects na wala pang downloading, na-approve naman siya?
These were not yet downloaded because they were approved in 2024, just this year, Madam Chair. So we will provide you the
what's the
dates.
process? I mean, I don't understand.
I'd like to
Either
defer to
you approve and then you download. Well, how can you approve with incomplete documents? You approved even without a financial agreement? So it's no approval at all. That you say have been approved are pending pa rin. Wala pang financial agreement eh. Yeah, let's put a more realistic. So ang ending nito, matatanggal lahat ng project na to. Dapat tanggalin to eh, wala pang pera eh.
Copy, Madam Chair.
So tanggalin ninyo lahat to. So all of these should... So in effect, the only projects continue to be the projects derived from 2016 to 2018. All of these listed as 2023 are in fact non-existent as we speak. Sabi mo kanina, hindi pa nabibigay. Wala, lahat yan, financing agreement not yet given.
Madam Chair will provide the updated
Tuloy,
list.
itong Borongan, Eastern Samar, zero disbursement. Kabagan, Isabela, no downloading. Katanawan, Quezon. Puros walang pera to eh. Lahat ba ito walang financial agreement?
Ma'am, for this one, no, it's just for instance, as Katanawan, Kabagan, it's just the completion of the pre-release documents for the transfer.
Pareho na rin yun. Wala pa, di ba?
Signed na po yung
download eh.
signed na po yung agreement but to comply lang po with the use of DBM COA.
Can you please delete it from the roster? It doesn't exist as a project until money's been given. This is a budget hearing. Yeah, so we're back to your old list, which dates from 2016.
If I may, Madam Chair, actually there has been partial downloading for this project.
Pero March, April, tama ka, mula noon, wala ka na narinig sa CCC. Tama?
If I may, Madam Chair, after the exit conference and we were provided the audit findings for 2023, the Climate Change Commission worked on answering all of them. But
Kaya
I
nga,
was
but
made
you
to
haven't-
understand
You haven't worked hard enough. It's already September. This was April.
we are going to submit that, Madam Chair. I was told that by this week, Madam Chair. Madam Chair.
As soon as we can is not a date. May I have a date?
We can do it by this week, Madam. We will submit by.
No, it's COA. It's COA that has to come back to me and tell me that you've complied or at least done something about all these COA findings. Okay, I think I can't make any headway with your budget, and with that, please submit all the required documentation. I am not a patient person. I believe I've been hugely patient, but I am unable to derive information or cooperation from your end. That being the case, I defer the budget of the Climate Change Commission. This happens every year. I wish you would prepare a little better and give us more information. Every year we are deferred. This is not how it should be. With more cooperation from your side, you saw how expeditiously the other agencies are dealt with. But since you have no information at all, and submit strange and deceptive data, I think I'm obliged as subcommittee I to recall you subject to the submission of the information requested. Thank you. Good afternoon.